This person has a crazy glitch in the Matrix story. It's a really, really good, and she tells it really, really good. I cannot believe this happened to her. It's also really terrifying, honestly, as a parent. I'm gonna play this for you in a second so you can watch it, but like, I cannot believe that this happened. I don't know what I would have done. Also want to say, you'll know what I'm talking about after you watch the video, but I think that the man in the story, I think that he was some sort of guardian or protector. I don't know if he was a guardian angel. I don't know if he was just like a protective spirit. Maybe he was a spirit guide, but the fact that he was smiling and the fact that there were no words exchanged. And I know that she said that there were no words exchanged on her end because she was freaking out about what had just happened and didn't even think to like ask this man any questions. But the fact that he also didn't say anything, like I feel like if I was the man and I would have been like, hey, this is what happened. But the fact that he didn't say anything either and he was just smiling, I feel like he was some sort of protector. But from what? Because it seemed like a really weird glitch in the like a really weird, like, what even, I don't even know what even happened. Just watch it. Let me know what you think in the comments, please.
I've decided to start recording my glitch in the Matrix stories, and I'm going to put them into a collection on TikTok. I always listen to As the Raven Dreams in the morning when I'm getting ready, and it just made me think I really need to put my glitch in the Matrix stories into a folder on TikTok. So it was hard to choose from the many glitches I've had in my life, but today I'm going to tell you about the one where Minnie, who is my youngest daughter, she is 9 this month. When she was little, say about one or two, she could walk, obviously. So picture this, I pull up onto my drive, and the house that I was in at the time, my drive's here, okay, at the side of my house. You get out the car, you walk up the long path, and then you turn the corner. My garden was huge. Turn the corner, and then you go into my front door. I just picked the kids up from school, and we're walking up the drive. River was with me, which is my middle daughter. She was there also, so she would have been about 5. River's walking in front to go into the house. I'm holding Minnie's hand because she was only little. She was only a baby, 1 or 2. And every time I walked up the drive, I would hold her hand because I wouldn't want her running out onto the road behind me. Jesus. River knew to go straight to the house, to the door. I'm walking up the path to my house through the big garden. Got Minnie's hand. As we used to go into my front door, there was like about 3 steps, and they're quite high for a little kid with little legs. So I always used to pick Minnie's hand up and put her into the house. After I'd open the door, pick her up, put her in. Walked up the path, got to the steps, unlocked the door, and I lifted her up. And I will try my best to try and explain this. I'm lifting her up, and all of a sudden, my hand fell. It just fell. Don't know how to explain this. Minnie was gone. She wasn't there. So I'm holding her by her arm, laughing, putting her in the front door, and she vanished. When I say vanished, I can't describe this enough, right? When I say vanished, I don't mean she ran off or I let go of her by mistake or she wiggled out of my hand. I mean she vanished into thin air. I don't know what I thought. My head was gone. My logical side of my brain was not logic. Like, it wasn't working. It wasn't braining. So I've stood there. Minnie's vanished. River's already gone ahead into the house. I'm spinning around in the middle of my garden. Big garden, massive garden. There's nothing in the garden. Like, there's no kids' stuff. There's no plants. There's no nothing. It's just grass. It's just a big garden. I am spinning around in a circle. My heart is pumping rapidly. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I was going dizzy with sheer panic. Like, I just could not comprehend what had just happened. What had just vanished into midair out of my arm, out of my grip, which had my arm drop because the weight was there and then it was gone. I was spinning around. I started crying, shouting. River's come out the door and I'm like, River, just go back in, go back in. Let me tell you, I could see over the hedge of my garden and straight across the street. So you've got my big garden, the hedge, Then you've got a main road, and then over there is a path. So it's a distance, right? Get over to the other side of the road. And there was an old creepy looking man. I can only describe him as looking a bit like the vicar out of Poltergeist, it's called, yeah? And he was stood there holding Minnie's hand like this across the road and waving at me like this. I bolted out of that garden, obviously, and I ran across that road and I grabbed Minnie. Minnie wasn't crying, she wasn't doing anything, she was just holding his hand. She looked quite happy, actually. And I grabbed her, and I was that shocked and shaken at what had just happened. I didn't even say anything to the man. Like most people be like, well, did you ask him why he had her? Did you ask him how she got it? Did you ask him? I was physically shaken. I ran into the house with the kids. I dropped down onto the bottom step of my stairs, hugging Minnie, crying, shaking. I was stuttering. I couldn't even speak. That's how severe this was. I do not understand what happened. I guess some people are going to logically kind of think about it and say, well, maybe you just had a lot on your mind and maybe, you know, you thought you had her. No. I was perfectly fine. I nothing was crazy was going off in my life. It was just an average day. And let me tell you, when I had my daughter in my grip, I had her in my grip. If I didn't have her in my grip, why, if I'm lifting her over, why would my hand drop, which alerted me that something crazy had just happened? She vanished. Listen, I had the weight of Minnie, and then she just vanished. And let's just say someone wants to say, maybe you had a mind blank or something, and she ran off. Minnie she was just finding her feet, right? She could walk, but you know how little babies walk. They can't sprint. They just toddle along. She could not have ran across that road. That road is busy 24/7. There's cars going this back and forth. So how the hell did she get to the other side of that main road in not even a second? Not even an atom of a second. In the blink of an eye, in the literal blink of an eye. And who the hell was that man? Even the fact that he was so old, I very much doubt that he could have sprinted. And even if he could, Minnie was in my grip and then she was gone. It baffles me to this day. Minnie will be 9 this month, and I always think about that. And I don't know how it happened. I just don't know. Baffles me.